Over the past 20 years or so, there has been a significant change in land ownership patterns in Scotland. More than 150 communities across the country have become landowners. This trend is likely to persist as a result of the recent community empowerment and land reform legislation. So why do so many communities opt to purchase and manage their own land and buildings? What difference does community ownership actually make?
I think it's brought greater awareness, for a start, of what was happening on what was formerly the North Harris estate. And I think it's given a lot of people a greater degree of control and involvement in what happens locally.
We now have long-term jobs where the people are making a career out of their community employment with a long-term future in that, and the money that's paying for that is coming from the community and getting recycled back into the community.
It's also enabled a greater number of people to be involved directly in something like running a business and to experience what that entails.
Without a doubt, community ownership has been a very positive thing for this community. There are people moving here now on the strength of what we're offering in the forest, and my hope is people will continue to move here on that strength and will retain our young people more as well. So it's about retaining and attracting people to this community, and it's doing that already. So it's been a very positive thing, and I can just see it getting stronger and better with every year that goes by.
The ability to organise the work locally and deal with local management issues with personnel who live locally has meant an increase in confidence and knowledge base, which means that people get paid better for the work they do.
I think it's done a lot to attract people to come to the island as well, either to stay or to visit the island, and thereby benefiting local businesses.
Oddly, I think an unexpected consequence of community ownership might just simply be confidence.
Community ownership is all about enabling local people to have more control over their own destinies. So it's important that the organisation set up to operate on behalf of the community is controlled by people actually living there. What about people who really like what a community is doing but aren't residents? Are there ways in which they can become involved?
We very quickly found out there were a large number of people who wanted to help the Trust, believed in what was happening and wanted to encourage us and support us. So we created a class of membership, Friends of North Harris, and it's been very successful. At any given time we've got anything between 100 and 200 people around the world.
There's a lot of interest from people out with KNOYDART, people who've maybe got family here or friends here or visited here or just are interested in the democratic principles behind community land ownership. In KNOYDART's case, we encourage them to become a friend of KNOYDART, so that gives them a formal link in for them receiving newsletters, or for some people, when they're over here in holiday, they'll call in and say hi.
There are a number of groups with more than a few years of community ownership experience under their belts. What message would they pass on to others who are thinking of making the journey?
Land needs management, and management is work, and work is jobs. So I think, particularly for rural communities, I think a land asset is really the greatest thing they can have to start looking towards their own future and become empowered to do something about that future.